A very pleasant good day, my beloved brothers and sisters in Christ and outside the body of Christ. Well, happy if I, Eric Braxton, to join you in this next video, speaking to you all from my beloved country, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, in in the month of August 2022. Well, brothers and sisters, a lot of you all know that that on the social media, internet, all on the different social media platform, mostly the most popular one, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and others. But yeah, yeah, this now you will see where many people all over the world is recording video and talking about the experience. A lot of them who claim they are Christians, that they are going to heaven, and they have experience where they're going to heaven, where they went to heaven and spent 15 minutes, and they went up to heaven and spent an hour to see Jesus Christ, the archangels, Michael and Gabriel, and the rest of the angels. Well, Jesus Christ and God the Father is in heaven. And the angels that they claim that they say they are seeing, Michael and Gabriel, of course they're in heaven. They was up there before God did even create mankind. And they still continue to be there in that wonderful place. Having said that, they are there. But it's human beings that they claim that they live here on the earth and went up there to see. Are they really up there? That's what Eric Braxton is getting at. So let us get into the meat of the matter. So a lot of these people who claim they have outer body experience, car accident, the why they was drowning, why they was in a coma, and some difficulty they went through. For a classic example, the fella is going up the mountain hiking and he slipped and he fall down and he hit the head and he's unconscious for a little while. Then he come out of his body and went into heaven. Okay, experience like that people say they have. And when they went into heaven, hear what they say. And they expect we human beings down here to accept that. But I not buying that. What they giving me, I not even buying it for a cent, much as for 5 cents, much as for $1. I keep in that full dollar in my pocket, lady and gentlemen. Hear what they are saying. Many people have buy it wholesale. What they are teaching them and giving them, of course they have accepted wholesale and continue to buy it wholesale. Not I. Whether retail, wholesale, I still not buying it. Whether wholesale, retail, I not still buying it. Neither for a cent, neither for 5 cents, neither for a full dollar. I keep in my full dollar in my pocket. Therefore, I reject it all right, a full 100%. That teaching that they are preaching and giving out to humanity. So they say when they went into heaven, they see Michael, the archangels, and Jesus Christ, right? And the angels. But as I said, these angels are there, and Jesus Christ are there. The Father is there before he even create mankind, and they still continue to be there. But the main thing, they see the dead loved ones up there. They say they see the dead uncle who died, the dead grandmother, the dead brother, or the dead four parents now, who were part of their family, like the great grandmother and uncle and thing, who they never see, but they had the photograph in the wall in the house where the mother pointed out, this is your great grandfather, you know, he served in the Second World War, he died. This is your great uncle, he served in the Second World War and he died. Or this is your great grandmother, she was a lovely lady, look the fit here, but she died years ago before you did even born. He claimed he went to heaven and he's seeing she up there. And he speak to her. His family loved ones who died went up there. And he also said people that he know of in his community, like his neighbor next door, who he grew up with, but of course he was a lad, a young boy, and she was an old woman, but she died. He said he meet up there and he had chat with her. Do you all accept that? I do not accept that. I'll tell you all why. But this, before I go into explain you that what they are teaching you all are not true, there's a key fundamental principle that we all have to understand. And that principle is demonstrated right down here. And if we understand that principle, then we will see that the principle is being applied on here, but it is not being applied up there. If what they are saying, telling us is true, classic example. And before I go into that principle, I will tell you that if what they are saying is true, then that same principle that is being applied here, it will apply up the classic example. Okay, so Eric Braxton trying to be smart. Is Eric Braxton trying to be clever than everybody else? Or he is coming up with something new? I wonder who gave him that, but the pastor in the church, the elders call him, or the deacon call him and sit down with him and tell him to say that. All right, or the prophet, or the evangelist. Well, none of them are telling me to say that. What I'm about to go into say, because this is a bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. Come in this down. This is a bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. You see the war that is taking place in Ukraine between the foreign fighters who have joined the Legion and volunteered to fight their life. They don't mind if they get killed up here. They don't want to go back to their native country because they're fighting for freedom, for democracy, for Ukraine. And they don't mind even self when they're dead. They leave yourself when they're dead. We don't know if the Ukraine government will fly back the body to the native land, but they might bury them up there. So the family, so if those Venezuelans who went up there and fight, a lot of them might go back and bury in Venezuela. So the family will go up there and locate the grave where they bury them up there. But the good gesture on the part of the Ukraine, I hope Zelensky, with these foreign fighters that die, that he will make the conservative effort and the foreign fighters after dead, at least put them in the body bags and fly them back in their own country, right, using the British and the Americans, so the family will be able to get back the body to bury back these foreign fighters that come from these Pacific countries. You think the family will be able to retrieve these bodies? Let us left that be seen if that will happen. But that will be a very good thing on the part of the Ukraine government if they do that, instead of all the fighters getting killed up there and burying Ukraine. Huh? Let us wait and see. Okay, having said that, I will deal with that in a video to come, but I just add that as part of the mix. Now, what I'm trying to show you all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to show you, down here's the principle now. So let us get into the meat of the matter. This will contradict what that fella say. He went up to heaven and he see loved ones. So let us get into the principle. This will debunk that. So let us get into the matter. Don't you know people on the earth, ladies and gentlemen, they take holidays? What holidays have to do that? I will show you all what holidays have to do with that. Holidays and vacation. I will show you all what vacation and holidays have to do with that. On it sounding silly? Alright, well, at the end of the silliness, if all analyzing that, all will catch the principle behind it. What Eric Braxton is up to? Well, I'll show you what this little Christian boy is up to in this video. You work in your working place for a year. You're entitled for your 2 weeks holidays. You get your 2 holidays, you get a vacation pay. You decided to stay in the little town or the country that you grew up in, or if you're from Trinidad, the person, whether he be a private employer or a government worker, he get his holiday, he get his vacation money. A person from Trinidad and Tobago, he decided to go to England. So he leave Trinidad and Tobago and he go to England for 2 weeks and visit a friend up there or stay by his family up there. Or even self, he have no family, but he have enough kakada money to pay for the hotels and for him to stay there in England, because he get 2 holidays vacation. So he could visit the England and come back in Trinidad. So keep in mind, watch. He left Trinidad. People in Trinidad know him, but he left Trinidad and he went to England. He go to England. If he have family, the family across there will see him because he's staying by them, not in a hotel. Or even if he don't have no family, or when he go in England, expect him to only be talking to the trees. He will be talking to the English people. So he will be interacting with the English people. He will be knowing them and they will be so knowing him because he will be telling them, this is my first time on vacation and this is my first time coming to England. So he will meet friends and colleagues up there and he will know friends. He will take the telephone number, etc. and etc. So when he come down in Trinidad, he could call them, I back in Trinidad. I've left yesterday, I come. And they will say, well, you only here 2 weeks, you only stay for a little 2 weeks. Well, work a full year again and when you get the next vision, come up again this time. This time you will not stay in a hotel, because when he was up there, he was in the bar drinking and all these things. You're staying by me this time when you come up. Well, you know exactly what Eric Braxton talking about, huh? Right. Let us continue. I am simply saying the same principle apply here, that he can leave Trinidad and go in England, stay by his family. If he do have family up there, they have seen him and he come back. If he have no family, he go to England and he meet friends and colleagues. Well, I'm simply saying to you all, ladies and gentlemen, according to all of that teaching that is on the internet, that all these people saying they have out-of-body experience, and they're saying that people who live here and was born here, the great-grandmother and great-uncle who have died, they're gone up to heaven and see them. How come the grandmother and the loved ones who they're seeing up there is not coming back to the earth? So which means they can't come back to the earth for vacation, for people to see them. But they was born here. They didn't born in heaven. The same principle how the fella left Trinidad and Tobago. But he didn't born in England. He's a native Trinidad and Tobago. But the law gave him the right to leave Trinidad, to go to England, to spend holidays and come back because he have that freedom. They are saying that the people who was born here, the loved ones, but an accident happened to he in a coma, but he left his body and he went in heaven and he see his grandmother. He's saying the principle that he is telling us that his grandmother did live here at time because she was born here, but now since she died, she's in spirit form in heaven. But she could only stay there. She can't come back here. That doesn't make sense at all. That is not adding up to the physical principle and to the physical principle and the spiritual principle. I'm simply saying, if the fellow, what they are teaching on the internet, if it was true, I will tell you what will be taking place. If what they are saying is true, that they are seeing the loved ones in heaven, I'll tell you exactly what will be taking place. You see, the loved ones who die here and gone to heaven, they have the freedom to come back down on earth and spend time with their loved ones and go back up in heaven. In other words, they'll be telling God will be sending them back on earth for holidays. Look catching the principle. God will be telling them, all you're born here, but all you die, now all in heaven. All you had the rights to come back down on earth, and spend a little 6 months, a little 5 months, and then go back up in heaven. But is these people telling all of that? No, but Eric Braxton teaching all of that. And using that principle to contradict what they are teaching earlier. It is not true. All you get the message now? All you get the message now? Because I will tell you all something. Even the elect holy angels who didn't born on earth, but God created them in heaven, they just leave earth and come to, they just leave heaven and come to earth. Even the angels who in heaven just leave heaven and come to earth and go back up. But they are saying, even you people here who was born here, they live a physical life, but they go on to heaven and in a spirit form, but he had an outer body experience, but when he went to heaven, he see grandmother. So how, if he see grandmother there, she could only stay there. She can't come back here. Why she can't come back here? How is only the living relative have to die and go up to see the dead grandmother? Why the dead grandmother won't she claim that she is alive? She's alive because he see she. Well, why is the other members, why she can't leave heaven and tell God, God, send me back down to earth now, so I could go back down to earth and take a little 6 month holidays and bring up myself with my other relative who hear about me. They didn't see me, but they only see my photograph inside the house. Send me back down to earth now so I can reveal myself unto them and spend 3 months with them and then go back up. Why we are not hearing that? Why we are not seeing that? Why that happening? If they claim that the loved ones in heaven, you know why that is not happening? Because in the first instance, the loved one is not in heaven. That's why he's not taking it. That's why that is not happening, ladies and gentlemen. Only catch the principle. Only catch the principle. Only catch the principle, which is not true. You think that these loved ones that they claim in heaven, if God tell them, God, send me back down to earth now, so I could peer back to me. They're not coming back down in spirit form, no. They had to peer back so people could see them. Yes, peer back for people to see them, to the loved ones to see them. Jesus Christ, send me back down now. You think Jesus Christ will prevent them from doing that? No, he will give them the freedom. And he will send them back down and they will appear back to the loved ones. Yeah. Am I trying to be funny? How we could not see in that? You know why that is happening? Because the man who telling you he went to heaven and he sees his deceased loved ones, grandmother and father, up in heaven. That is not true. He didn't see none of them there because none of them there in the first place. You see, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I tried to teach you all in this video. The principle that I have used contradict what they are teaching. But look, none of the like holy angels, a matter of fact, all the angels that God created is not on the earth they was born, but look, they just leave heaven and come on the earth. On the leaving heaven and coming back down on earth. Let me repeat what I just say. And all the angels know why he's saying is true. But that have those will tell you all why that's saying is not true. But they know exactly why he's saying is true. Michael and Gabriel, one was born on God created them in heaven. When Gabriel left heaven and came on the earth and talked to Mary. What did God create Gabriel on earth? No, he created him in heaven. But when he left heaven and came and talked to Mary, on the like holy angels left heaven, the one that wrestled with Jacob and left heaven and came on earth and wrestled with him. But look, even human beings who born here and they claim they went to heaven, but when they go to heaven, they claim they see in there, but they could only stay there, they can't come back. That doesn't make sense. It is a contradiction. I'll now getting the message clearly. Keep on getting it crystal clear. And understand the principle behind it. You always see it not adding up. Because there's nothing to add up in the first place. I'm simply saying the same way the like holy angels are leaving heaven and coming here and going back. And they have the right to do that. And God has given them the permission. I'm simply saying to all these people who all are claiming, all are seeing all their loved ones in heaven, well, if they're going up there, God has given them the rights to come back here. Not only stay there, but come back here and appear back to the loved ones, where they could see the great-grandmother who died and spend time with she. And she will say, well, I spent 2 weeks with all there. Bye-bye. I'm going back to heaven. Well, if they like holy angels could leave heaven and come there, then God will allow these people to go there to come back the same way. Or they now catch the principle. But are we seeing that? Are we witnessing that? Is that taking place? The answer is no. Because you know why? There's no loved ones up there in the first place. Deceased loved ones. In the first place. That's why that is not happening in no countries of the earth. And no human beings is witnessing that. So ladies and gentlemen, all these people say now out about the experience and they're going to heaven and seeing the dead loved ones, the dead mother and father, that is not true. What I have just described contradict that, Because even the elect holy angels who did not born on the earth, look, they create in heaven, look, they leave in heaven and coming on earth and going back to heaven. Well, if people was born here on the earth and God, and they die and they went to heaven, well, they was born here first, not in heaven. But if they go to heaven, then they have the rights to come back to earth. So why they only staying in heaven and not coming back? And why they not asking God to send me back on earth for vacation to see we loved ones and then go back? I heard Roxanne trying to be funny. Huh? I'm using this principle to debunk that. To tell you it is not true in the first place, because there's no loved ones up there, deceased loved ones that people say they go and see and reacting red and coming back and writing books and saying, I went to heaven and see my loved ones and all these things. And, I talked to my great uncle and our great grandpa and all these things, which is not true. Because if that was true, what I have just described will be taking place. God will be sending them back for vacation on the earth, and that I'll be paying back and talking to the relatives there who's alive and showing them in heaven, man. This is me on the wall here, man. This is my photograph. I die in the 18th century when all they didn't even born. Or I die in so and so and so. Yeah. This is my daughter, man. When she didn't even marry us yet. And I have all the kids. Yeah, come, look, this is me. I saw the grandmother, look me here. I was in heaven, but I asked God to send me back. And he gave me vacation, on 2 weeks vacation, so I could reveal myself to all you. I come back as a human being, man. Only seeing all the grandmother in the flesh. Bye-bye. And when she time for she come, she cannot vanish on herself. God will send her elect holy angels, and the holy angels will appear at the side of her for everybody to see. And she will say, I'm going back up to heaven now. This is the proof that I was really up there. And God said, and the angels. And she vanished, and with the angels vanished she to go back up there. That will be the proof God will be using to prove to the world that they're really up there. Because she cannot vanish on herself and go back up there. Because if she vanishes on herself and no angels yet to confirm that she really came from there, well, I mean, she lived on the earth and she really went there, and then she's up there now, but she come back for vacation to interact with her human loved ones who's alive. The angels, the elect holy angels appear to confirm that. Are we witnessing that? Are we seeing that? Are that taking place? No. That'll be the proof that people loved ones are up there. Since we are not seeing that, that means no loved ones is up there. And the people who claim they're going up there and seeing their loved ones is not true. But you all will say, I am contradicting myself. Because when she appeared, the first time, we didn't see no elect holy angels. Well, when she left heaven, if she asked God for 2 weeks, according to that teaching, if that teaching is true, and that her loved ones up there, anyone who asks God, God, I want to go back to my country, Argentina, to visit my relatives who's alive. You understand? Right? God will send her elect holy angels with that person. And when she appear, the elect holy angels will appear with she to confirm that she did request God, make the request from God to send her back. And I am traveling along with her. Now she appear, I appear with her, and the angels appear to the family, and talking to the family. She really is in heaven, and we appear to confirm that. So she says on a full month vacation. Now I'm about to vanish her, but when she full month vacation, if she doesn't ask for no extension, I will come back for her, and he vanish. The elect holy angels have to do that to confirm their release in heaven. And God will have that as a structure thing taking place in all the nations of the earth. I repeat, God the Father and Jesus Christ will have that as a structure policy, that every loved one who's in heaven coming back, they are coming back with the elect holy angels to confirm that. It doesn't matter if it's 5 of them up there and belongs to the same family, they will come back. One elect holy angel will talk to that whole, if it's 5 of them coming back, talk to the whole of the 5, behalf of the 5 that is really in heaven. Is that taking place in all the nations of the earth? Are we witnessing that? The answer is no. Why we are not witnessing that? Because in the first incident, that teaching, what they are teaching, that people die, coming out of the body and going and see deceased loved ones, people who live here and die, and they's alive in heaven, is not true. That's why we are not witnessing what I describing. And if what they are saying is true, then this there be the structure of it. Ladies and gentlemen, God have to do it that way so he will not be confusing nobody. And God will know, people will know, yes, this is a legitimate thing that is taking place. Yes, and when people really dead, they really is in heaven. You see, God have to do it that way so people will not be confused. But are we witnessing that? No. People are confused because people doesn't believe what these people are saying. Some believe and some doesn't believe. So some saying it's true and some saying it's not true. Well, we really want to know if it's true. But if it was true, that is the way that be happening. So it will not have no doubters. Everybody had the evidence now. Because I elect holy angels will be appearing, whether 5 of them come back or 1 of them come back, to confirm that. And when he spend 5 weeks holidays or 3 days holidays or how much he come back with, God give him, allow them to come back, the elect holy angels will appear when he about to leave. And he will appear to the person, like the next person, like for instance, like the uncle now, who is in heaven, according to them, and he hangs out for a week holiday, and he come back and he spend a week with them. When he's about to go back in heaven, the like holy angels will know the timing and he will appear back to the family and tell the family, well, it's the vacation time is up and he is going back to heaven. I am here to confirm that he is going back to heaven. So so that man family will see the angels leaving with the loved one, and both of them will vanish and go to heaven. And that will be a normal thing taking place in all the villages and towns and cities all over the nations of the earth. But are we seeing that? Are we witnessing that as a normal thing? The answer is no. Why are we not seeing that? Why we are not witnessing that? Because in the first place, you know why it is not happening? Because there is no deceased loved one of people in not heaven. That's why that is not taking place. And if it is so that it really had loved ones up there, then that would have been taking place. How to prove that? So simple. Because look, the like holy angels didn't even created on earth, but they was created in heaven. But look, they leave in heaven and coming on the earth and leaving the earth and go back to heaven. But people who was born here, they claiming going to heaven, but they only sticking in heaven, they can't come back. It's not adding up. You see, right there, that's a contradiction. Right there, that's a contradiction. Well, once again, a lot of people will say, Eric Braxton, you are really so-called charlatan, and you are talking nonsensical garbage and nonsensical foolishness. You know why? Because look, the scripture said a lot of the saints, after the death of Jesus Christ, came out of the grave and went to the holy city and appeared to many people. Which part there is? They're on the earth? No, they went up in heaven with Christ. Yes, I believe they went up in heaven with Christ. Yes, I believe they went up in heaven with Christ. You see, that is something different to the outer body experience, what they are teaching. So don't mix up that one to the outer body experience, what they are teaching. These saints who died, they didn't have no outer body experience. They live a natural life and they die. And God resurrect them. And they did went to the holy city and appeared to many people. Where they is, did they live back and die? No. According to Robert W. Armstrong and Dr. Gene Scott, which I accept, when Jesus Christ ascended into heaven, they went up with Jesus Christ in heaven. Well, according to you, God should have sent them back. Eh? Eh? God could send them back if he choose to, but he choose to send them back for them to appear back. Yeah, if they went up in heaven, that this day, they will come back with Jesus Christ when he coming back with the like holy angels. Yeah, but right now they're in heaven. So he's not choosing them to come back to tell people we are the saints who came up with Christ after the resurrection and went to the holy city. Well, we come back and appear to people. No, God not doing that because they had no outer body experience. I'm talking about the outer body experience people claim they're having, who's still alive and they did dead and went up in heaven and claiming to seeing deceased people and coming back on the earth. Because these saints who came out of Christ after his resurrection, they didn't have no outer body experience. They dead and went to the grave and God resurrect them. That's something different to what this outer body experience is teaching. So don't mix the two. I make that vertically clear, crystally clear across the board. Don't mix the two. because there's two different teaching there, right? There's two different teaching there, ladies and gentlemen. So don't mix the two. Don't mix the two up. Because one is contradicting the next one. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, in the mighty name of Jesus, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, in the holy name of Jesus Christ, in the righteous name of Jesus Christ. Yes, that would have been taking place. And that would be a standard policy. Like you don't hear what I say. No, I'm not talking like the politician, yes. Yeah, let me talk like the politician for a little while. Yeah, yes. Let me talk like the politicians for a little while, man. Yeah. Let me talk like the politicians for a little while. That would be a standard policy for everybody to be witnessing what I just described. God, I introduce it to the human family, so nobody will have no doubts concerning that, and nobody will not be confused concerning that. And it be a normal thing across the board in all the country. Yeah, so we will not have no doubters. Yeah, it'll be a normal thing, and they're not coming back here as no. Well, even said they come back as spirit beings, because remember they was in flesh, and they went up there, and they never know as spirit beings, according to the theory of the outer body experience. Because these people who say they left the body and went in heaven, and they're seeing their loved ones, they are not seeing them as flesh and blood across there. They're seeing the spirit form. Now, will God send them back as flesh and blood creatures? No, they're coming back in spirit form. Well, when they come back in spirit form, they will be in an operation form for everybody to see. So they'll not be hiding, but they will have the same features like when they was in flesh and blood. So you're able to identify them. So it doesn't matter if they come back flesh or spirit. They have the same features. So you know that is your grandmother, that is your uncle. Because the photograph on the wall, that photograph for the person who, before she died, and she was a human being, flesh and blood, well, now she's in a spirit house operation. The same features she have here is the same features she have in a spirit form. So when you watch it is the same person. So it make no difference. You see the difference? Are you all learning this, boys and girls? Ladies and gentlemen, old man and old woman, young boy and young girl, are you all learning that? Are you all comprehending what I'm teaching you all? I hope so. So it makes no difference. You'll recognize the feature of the person. You see? And that be a standard policy. And that be happening in all the nations of the earth as an everyday basis. It'll be a normal thing. But are we witnessing that? Are we seeing that? The answer is no. And we'll be seeing the like holy angels. Well, a lot you all will say, Braxton, you're talking foolishness again. If God had to send them back, why he showing the like holy angels? Well, he had to show them to confirm that. You know why? Because David saw the angels with the sword. David didn't only see the sword, he see the angels. Why did God allow David to see the angels? Because seeing angels is not a sin. Like you don't hear what I say. I said seeing angels is not a sin. So that's why when David saw the angels. You see? Gideon saw the angels. Is that was a sin? Seeing angels is not a sin. So God have to show the angels to mankind. You all get it now. Keep on getting it. Yes, keep on getting it. Keep on getting it, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why God must show them. Like you all didn't hear the message. Once again, David saw the angels. Seeing the angels is not a sin. Gideon saw the angels, was that a sin? Samson, mother and father, saw the angels, was that a sin? No, they have to show their face. Once again, I repeat, the angels have to show their face. So any of this, according to the people, if the loved ones are up there, God will send them back for vacation, and the like holy angels have to appear with them to show their face, to confirm that this person is really in heaven. Yes, the angels must do that. That will be a standard policy on the part of God. The angels have to accompany them back to the earth to prove that they're really in heaven. So the angels, when he appear with the person, the elect holy angels be there showing his face to everybody, for everybody to see him. Yeah, and he's talking to the whole family. This is your dead grandmother, come back. She asked God for 2 vacation, and she get it. God approve it, and I come back here to accompany back on the earth. She will be staying with Ollie for 2 weeks. I'm about to disappear, vanish and gone. When she 2 weeks up, the angels appear back because he will know the exact time. Well, you know, she 2 weeks is up. She didn't ask for no extension, but if she asks for extension, of course, God will grant her. All right. You see, she and the angels walk out the house, and both of them vanish. We will have no doubts concerning that, because then we will know that is taking place really, in fact, that she's really in heaven. She did not live on earth for a period of time, and now she's in heaven. That will confirm that. And that happened that way. And God will be setting that policy across the board, so that will be a natural thing taking place throughout all the countries of the earth. But are we witnessing that? Are we seeing that as a normal thing? The answer is no. So that teaching that they teach that they are coming out of the body and going to heaven and seeing the loved ones is not true. It's 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 not true. Because what I described, if that was true, what I explained you all, that be taking place. It'll be taking place. It'll be taking place. It'll be leaving heaven, coming back on earth for the vacation. The elect holy angels will be accompanying them and showing themselves unto them, the elect holy angels, with the person who left heaven and come to the earth. When the 2 weeks or a month vacation is up, the elect holy angels will come, appear back with the family, and travel back with the person in heaven. Are we seeing that? No. Is that a normal thing across the board in all the nations of the earth? The answer is no. What I have described in this video is to show you all that all what they are telling you all about this out-of-body experience, people are coming out of the body and going to heaven and seeing the dead loved ones up there, is not true. Because I teach you all, look the angels didn't even born in heaven. I mean, then born on earth, but they were created in heaven. But look, they're leaving heaven and coming on the earth and going back. But human beings who was born here, they teach them when they go to heaven, they can't come back to the earth, only sticking there. That is not adding up. It is a contradiction. It is a contradiction. It is a contradiction. It is a contradiction. It is a contradiction, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You know why? Because all the angels God created, then born on the earth, was not created on the earth. They was created in heaven. But look, they were created in heaven, but they are leaving heaven and coming on the earth and going back. Well, if people was born here, but wasn't born in heaven, God had given them the same rights that the angels have. They didn't born on earth. They were created in heaven. But look, they live in heaven, come on the earth, and going back to heaven. Live in heaven, coming on the earth, going back to heaven. But human beings who born here, they are teaching when they're born here and they come out of the body, they're gone in heaven. They can't come back to earth at all. They can't come back to earth at all. That is not adding up, because that is not true. God, the same way the angels didn't born on earth, but God, they had the rights to leave heaven and come on earth and go back. God had give these people the same rights too, in the context of vacation and holidays. In the context of vacation and holidays. If they're in heaven, they have the rights to come back to earth and spend time with the family and then go back up into heaven. Are we seeing that? No. Are we witnessing that? No. Across the board as a normal function? No. That is the proof that teaching, that they are teaching that when people dead, they're going into heaven and they's up in heaven, and human beings having an out-of-body experience, that come out of the body and go up in heaven and see the dead uncle and father, and then come back and tell people, you know, I had an out-of-body experience. I was on the operation table and I see my spirit come out and float up on the ceiling, and I went in heaven and I see my dead uncle. They're happy up there. That is not true. Where's the proof to prove that? There's no proof in that. There's no proof in that. There's no proof in that. There's no proof. Like that's a teaching, like that's a saying. Where's the practical proof? Where's the concrete proof? Where's the galvanized proof? Where's the cemented proof? None. Like that's words. There's no proof in that. The proof, to prove what that fella is telling all you, oh, he come out of his body and he went up in heaven and he see dead uncle and he's happy across there. The proof is his dead uncle must ask for vacation, and let God grant him and come back to the earth with the elect holy angels accompany him to prove that he already is in heaven. That is the proof, ladies and gentlemen. That is the proof. That is the proof. That is the proof. That is the proof. That is the legitimate proof. That is the proof that he's really in heaven. Yeah. Because he asked God for vacation, 2 weeks for vacation, and he come back on the earth, and he let go. And this is his house in the town, in the village. The like holy angels will accompany him, because both of them left heaven. The angels left heaven with him, and both of them travel. And the angels appear to the family, to the door. Hello, ma'am. The family open up the door. This is all your uncle. His name is John Brown. She say, John Brown? I have any John Brown in my family? Uh-huh. Yeah, oh, this John Brown on the photograph. Oh, he was alive in the time of my grandmother. Oh, is you on the wall? Let me look at your face good. But you're not in flesh and blood, you're a spirit being. Well, I did live here before. Anytime my grandmother see me, you holding on in the photograph. That time I was flesh. But I died, I went up in heaven. But I come back in spirit form, because I can't come back in flesh and blood. God is not allowing me to come back in flesh and blood, but in spirit form. And she'll say, but yes, only looking the same way, everything. And who you see? Well, the like holy angels. I am the like holy angels of God. And I stand in the holy presence of the Holy One of Israel. And he have sent me to accompany this person who was one flesh and blood. He lived and he gone back in heaven. And he asked for God for 2 weeks vacation. And God have granted him, and he come back for his 2 vacation. He will be staying here for 2 week vacation. Well, it's nice to welcome him. Because he in the photograph of my grandmother, And when both of them was alive, I didn't even live. I wasn't alive at that time. As after a couple of years, my mother gave birth to me. But I always look at my photograph, because my mother always tell me, this is your grandmother and this is your uncle in the photograph too. I mean, this is your next family in the photograph. I'm happy to see him. Are we witnessing that? Is that taking place? The answer is no. No, I'm saying, using that principle and that teaching to tell you all that if what these people are teaching you all, that they're having out-of-body experience and they're going into heaven and they're seeing loved ones, is not true. Because I'm telling you, if what they were saying is true, then what I am describing, it had to happen that way to prove what they're saying is true. And since what they're telling you all, want you all to believe, and a lot of you all are believing it, that they are really coming out, according to them, they are coming out of the body, and they're going up into heaven, and they're seeing the loved ones. They're only telling all of that, but they're not showing you all the loved ones. They're only telling all of that, but are they showing you all the loved ones? No. Well, you know why they're not, what that is not true? Because that is not true, because the dead loved ones is not up there in the first place. I am teaching you all, brothers and sisters, that in fact, if that was really happening, it'd be happening how I describe it. It'd be happening how Eric Roxanne describe it. It'd be happening, yes, how this little Christian boy from the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, are teaching you all how it describe it. Yeah. It'd be happening exactly how I describe it. You know why? Because it had to happen that way. It can't happen no other way. That is the proof. It had to happen this way how I'm describing it. And it can happen no other way how I'm describing it. Like you all then hearing Eric Braxton, who teach you that? T.D. Jakes call you and tell you that? Orleans, the next fella, or these famous Christian Dollar, he call you and teach you that? No, and even in America, I even have a ride in his multi-million-dollar jet with a nice $1,000 jacket and tie he have, and his nice shoes and his Cadillac. He call you and put you down and tell you to teach that? No. If he telling me that with all the big jet he have and the $1 million he have, I ain't buying that from a cent or a dollar from he neither. Whether retail or wholesale. I'm not even buying it for he, because what he telling me, it will be total false also. Just using that as an example. I'm not saying he teaching that, but I'm using that. That if any Christian come in and claim they accept that and want me to accept that, I reject it all right, because they're not coming with no proof. And the silliness, yes, Eric Braxton tend to get down to business today to talk about that, because I tell you all, this is a bombshell. And I tend to drop this bombshell, let it explode fast and kind. And when it does settle, I hope that you all see what I tell you all crystal clear. Right now, this bombshell is dropping this video, and the place is cloudy. I expect it to be cloudy. You all not seeing truly clearly. Certain things you are hearing and you all not understanding. But when the dust is settled, on the atmosphere will get back clear, yes, all your mind will fully clear now. Try to piece together what I see. Try to understand and get the full comprehension. Yes, 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 yes. It can happen no way, other way than how I describing it. On the like Holy Angels game, he didn't hide himself from Gideon, he showed himself to Gideon. I think Gideon was seeing his hand and foot on his head. But the angels committing a sin by showing himself to Gideon. No, and to prove what I saying. To prove what I saying, to make it illegitimate. What is legitimate? Rightfully. Yeah. I'm trying to be, Eric Braxton playing pastor today. Eric Braxton playing pastor today according to some of you all. He think he more brighter than TD Jakes. He think he more brighter than Christian Dollar. Okay. The angels came to Samuel, mother and father. He came to a family. This is the key part now. Pay close attention, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, old man and young man, old woman and old man, young boys and young girls. No, not right now. Not right now. Yeah, not right now. Right now. No, not right now. Not right now. Pay attention. Look, the like holy angels came to a family. The like holy angels came to a family. And what was the family? Samson, mother and father. Did Samson, mother and father was only seeing the hand and foot of the angels, but not the head? They had to see the holy angels. He wasn't hiding to them. So what I'm teaching you all, the angels appearing is for people to see them is not a sin. The like holy angels appearing for human beings to see them, it is not a sin, and it is not a criminal offense. It is not a sin, and it is not a criminal offense. Once again. So the like holy angels appear to Samson, mother and father. He appeared to a family. They didn't have no children, but they're still a family, husband and wife. But the son Samson will be born. Well, I'm simply use that. The same way how the like holy angels appear to our family. Well, if people was really die and really going to heaven, God will be using the angels to accompany back that person to appear back to the human family on the earth. Let's now get the message now. That like holy angels accompany that man who asks God for a vocation, and he'd appear back with the like holy angels. And the same way how that like holy angels went to a family, Samson, mother and father, Here the principle now. The like holy angels are come back with the man who asked God for 2 weeks vacation, and he'd go back to the village with Sati bought. And the like holy angel. Yes, he's the one doing the knocking on the door. He's the one doing the knocking on the door. Yeah. He's the one doing the knocking on the door, not the man or the woman. The like holy angels. Yeah, because at that time the like holy angels is in charge of he. God gave you that authority to accompany him back on the earth. So the like holy angel goes up to the door. Bam, bam, bam. Is anyone home? Bam, bam, ring the bell. The person comes. Hello. I am the like holy angels of God. I stand in the presence of the Holy One of Israel. This is your love relative. He did live on the earth for a period of time. We only know the history and the angels given the family. Well, he died and he's in heaven now. And he asked for vacation and he come back. I am here to confirm that he's really up there and here. That's what the angels were doing, and that is the proof. Is the angels committing any sin? No. When the angels came to Samuel, mother and father, and talking to them, was he doing any sin? No. Well, the like holy angel be doing the same thing too. He are committing no sin. That's the proof that they're really up there. That's the proof that they're really up there. That's the proof that they're really up there. But are we seeing that? No. And I'm simply saying that is the way it have to happen. And God has structured it that way, for that to happen that way. Yeah, Roxanne trying to be funny. I'm not funny at all. Read the scriptures all yourself and all you'll understand what I'm saying. And put the principles together and you'll see how it's matching together perfectly from top to the bottom. That's how it have to happen, and God has structured it that way. That is the proof. That will be the proof that people really isn't, when they die, they're really going to heaven. It has to happen that way. It had to happen that way. They like holy angels had to come with them and introduce themselves to the human, to the living relative, and show them there's in heaven. The like holy angels will vanish and tell them, well, they're here for 2 weeks holidays, the like holy angels gone back. If they doesn't ask God for no extension, for next 2 weeks, the like holy angels will come and collect them back. The angels will appear back to the family and tell them the vacation, and both of them will vanish. People will be seeing that. Not only the family, but the people around in the neighborhood will be witnessing that. That will be a normal activity taking place in all the nations of the earth. Every town, every village, every city, every county, all over the world. There'll be a normal thing. Are we witnessing that as human beings upon the earth? Are we seeing these things taking place upon the earth? The answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is no. So what I'm teaching you, that is not happening. That is right way for it to happen. And since it's not happening in that right way, what these other people are teaching you all that their loved ones up there is not true. What these other people are teaching you all, they're coming out of the body and they're going up there and seeing their loved ones. And the loved ones are going to only stay in heaven and they can't come back on the earth. When originally they was on the earth, that they teach and they went to heaven is not true. It's 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 not true. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ. It's not true. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ. And how I describe it had to be that way because that is the right way. Had to be that way because that is the right way. The true and the legitimate way. Because the angels went to Samuel, went to Samson's mother and father. He went to a family. And if they had loved ones up there, they'd be coming back. And the angels would be coming back to appear to the family. Are we seeing that? No. Are we witnessing that? No. So what these people are teaching you all is not true. They're not going to know heaven and see no deceased loved ones up there. These people who are telling you all they're leaving the body and going to heaven and seeing the dead uncle and the dead sister and the dead brother is not true. What they are saying is not true because the dead loved ones is not up there. The dead loved ones is in the grave waiting for a resurrection. The dead loved ones is in the grave waiting for a resurrection and they're not in heaven and they're not in heaven and they're not alive in heaven. Because if there's a life in heaven, they'd have the rights to come back on the earth, to spend vacation with the loved ones and go back in heaven. Because I told you all, the same principle apply. And let me remind you all, because I come at the end of this video, the first principle apply. The night I tell you all that a person work for a year and he gets his 2 vacation, look, he leaving his native country to go to a foreign country, England, and spend 2 weeks. He have the rights to do that. And he spent 2 weeks in England by family members. The family members, his family members who never saw him in the flesh. Who lived since in his grandmother time. Who left Trinidad and went to England and live. Right? But he now, the person who take the vacation in Trinidad, he's a young person, only 18 years. But his mother telling me he have family in England. His great, he went, so he wanted to go to England to see his family. So he left Trinidad and went to there, and they're glad to see him. Yes, they're glad because it's a family. On, first time they're seeing him. Right, look, he come back to Trinidad, it's 2 weeks up. Only have the right to leave Trinidad and go there. And even the family members who never see, they have the right to leave England and come in Trinidad and see him too. But they're trying to tell me people who born here, but they're going to heaven. All right, all right now. Okay, it's okay. But they're trying to tell us that people who born in heaven. All right, Sandra. Okay, Sandra. Okay. I'll finish this down. But they're trying to tell us, ladies and gentlemen, that people who was born here legitimately, when they die, they go to heaven. But God only confined them to heaven. They can't come back to earth. But we could only hear this in heaven. but we can't see them. Is that adding up? That is not adding up at all. You see? Right there, that is not true. Right there, that is not true. In other words, what they are teaching earlier, that God have confined them there today. God have them in a prison. That's what they're trying to teach earlier. God have them in a prison. They was born on the earth, but now they're in heaven as spirit beings, but they can't come back to earth. God confined them, they jail them, they can't come back. So God take away their rights. That won't be true, because I will tell you why. Look, the lucky holy angels ain't born on the earth. They was created in heaven, but they live in heaven and coming on the earth. But the like holy angels who didn't born on the earth, they live in heaven and coming on the earth, live in heaven, coming on the earth and going back. But the people who was born here, now they're in heaven, they can't come back to earth. Is God not moving fear? According to that teaching, God is not moving fear. According to that teaching, God is not moving fear. Because God, according to that teaching, what they are teaching, God is committing an injustice. According to that teaching, they are saying God is committing an injustice. And you know what is the injustice? They are teaching that God is committing. Here, what is the injustice? They are teaching that God is committing. They are teaching that God created the angels in heaven, but He didn't create them on earth. But look, the angels who was created in heaven, they live in earth, heaven, and come on the earth and go back into heaven. But the people who was born on the earth, gone in heaven, but He prisoned them there, they can't come back to the earth. That is the injustice the teaching God is committing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in this video, is God really committing injustice? God is not committing no injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, that teaching that they are teaching that God is committing an injustice, is that really true? That is false. God is not committing no injustice. God is God is not committing no injustice. Because you know why? God is the God of justice. God is not communicating no injustice, because God is the God of justice. And I'll show you in this video, God is the God of justice. Because if what they are saying is true, that when people dead, they love the spirit is in the spirit world in heaven, and they're going up there and seeing their loved ones. Well, I'm simply saying, if that was true, the same way how the elect holy angels is coming back on the earth and appearing to people, these people who did live here originally and die and went to heaven, did not come back on the earth the same way and appear back to their loved ones. But is that taking place? No. Is that taking place? No. Are we witnessing that as a normal thing across the board in all the nations of the earth? As an everyday activity and everyday night activity? The answer is no. So that teaching that people leaving the body are going to heaven, and people are seeing them up there, my dead loved ones, my dead sister, my dead brother, my dead uncle, is not true. Because I tell you all, if that was true, God will be sending back them on earth for holidays and for vacation, accompanied by the like holy angels for everybody to see them. Because I'm telling you, what these people are teaching, that they're coming out of the body and they're going to heaven and they're seeing the deceased loved one, the dead uncle, mother and brother, or the dead relatives. If what they're teaching is true, that the dead loved ones is up there, then I'm telling you all, to prove what they are saying is true, God has sent them back on the earth for vacation and holidays, so that I come back on the earth and appear back to the loved one and spend holidays with them and then go back to heaven. But the angels, the elect holy angels, will be accompanying them and appearing to the family to show them that they really is in heaven. Are we witnessing that? No. Are we seeing that across the board in all the nations with it? The answer is no. So that is the proof to teach you all that what these people teaching you all, that they're coming out of the body and they're going in heaven and they're seeing the dead uncle and brother and sister, is not true. It's not true. The dead brother and sister is not in heaven. The dead brother and uncle is not in heaven. The dead relatives is in the grave, right on the earth, waiting for resurrection, and they're not in no heaven. That is the proof, ladies and gentlemen. And how I describe it, that's the way it have to happen. Who teach you that? Eric Braxton. A lot of you all want to question Eric Braxton. Okay, well, let me put on the teaching for a little while and deal with the answers and questions. Since you all want to question literature Eric Braxton. Well, I'm not the Prime Minister. I'm not the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and this is not question time in Parliament for the honourable members, opposition on the other side. But I'm adopting myself like the Prime Minister. I'm ready to face the journalists and all the prominent all the prominent journalists in the country, And the new lads, boys and girls, the new journalists who are fresh on the block, the new kids on the block who just leave the qualifying journalism and they just leave the journalist school and they are fully qualified professional journalists now they're in the field. Well, I'm taking questions from both the young ones, the junior ones, and the senior ones, the veteran ones, and them. Yes, I repeat to take questions from all of them. Understand this principle. I tend to answer all your questions, whether you all be journalists, the senior one, the veteran one, and the young lads who now qualify from the journalist school and is in the field and working for all the media houses, the electronic press and the print press and the electronic media, TV, radio, etc. I will interface all of you all with all of the questions. I will give you all the answers, and that apply to all the rest of people, all and sundry, journalists and non-journalists. I tend to face all of you and throw all the questions on me. I'm ready to answer all of the questions. Eric Braxton, well, I'm using, I come like all you're asking me, so I have to put it over in that way. Eric Braxton, how did you, who teach you that, what you just described to all of you here in this video? Did you receive a dream and a vision? The answer is no. Who teach you that? How did you come to that understanding? Well, I will answer you all. I come to that understanding, ladies and gentlemen, according to the Bible, but because the Bible talk about a resurrection. The Bible teaches that when people die, they're not conscious. That teaching is teaching people are conscious, so that is contradicting the Bible. That's the answer for you all. All since you all want to question me, I have the answer for you all. And you know, I'm showing you all where I'm getting it. Right in the Bible, the words of God, from Genesis to Revelation. Don't bring no other book and put before this little Christian boy. I have one book in my hand, which is the Bible. And I'm answering all of you all from that said one book, the Holy Bible, Genesis to Revelation. Since you all want to show the question, I have the answer to give you all. Did any of the elect holy angels that is in heaven that remain loyal to God, did any of them appear to tell you that personally and say, come Braxton, the Holy One of Israel, he have sent me to talk to you, like how we sent Mary, Gabriel, and talk to her. She will have Jesus Christ. Yeah, you sit down there and I will talk to you, Eric Braxton. Did any of the elect holy angels come down here and put me to sit down and tell me that all? But no, not at all. Not at all. Did T.D. Jakes come in Trinidad and tell you that? No. Did the famous evangelist in America come and teach you that? Did you read these things in any of the books that they publish? What about the late Monroe, who died in a plane crash from Nassau, Grand Bahamas, with all the books that he write? Have you read it in any of his books? The answer is no. Since you all only question who teach me that and how I arrived at that. And all what I just said that there. I have the answers for every one of you all. The answers? Who teach me that? From the Bible. Then I mentioned Samuel, mother and father. The elect holy angels came to both of them. He came to a family. The angels appeared to Samson, mother and father. The angels wasn't hiding himself. So the angels was not committing a sin, neither no criminal offense. So the same way, if it had loved ones in heaven, and they're really there, they'd ask for vacation and God had come, send them back at the angels. But the angels, and the same way how the angels show himself to Samson, mother and father, the angels had to show himself to the person who he accompanied back to the current loved one. The angels is not committing a sin and not a criminal offense. Are we seeing that? The answer is no. That's why what these people are teaching all is not true. It had to happen how I describe it. And since it's not happening that way, what they're teaching is not true. That's the proof, ladies and gentlemen.
Eric?
Yeah.
Once you close this subscribe.
Yeah. I finish now. That is the proof, ladies and gentlemen. That is the proof. Then that I teach you all in this video. Where God create all the angels, where He create them on earth, and then put them in heaven. Well, if all they think that, all they have it wrong. And any book besides the Bible that teach God create all the angels on the earth and then send them up in heaven, I do accept that. I'm not even buying that for a cent, much as 5 cents, much as for a full dollar. You understand? God created all the angels in heaven. But look where he created them in heaven, not on the earth. But they're allowed to leave heaven and come on the earth and go back. And we see that in the scriptures. They were get it from. And they were teaching all of the. That is all the principle are teaching all the. All these is principles. The angels are born created in heaven, but they leave in heaven and come on the earth and go back. The archangels Gabriel left heaven and he came to Mary. Did he born on earth? Did God create him on earth? The answer is no, but in heaven. But when he left heaven and came on the earth. Well, if God didn't want him to come on the earth, then God, he'd have teleport Mary to go up in heaven and talk to the archangels Gabriel, and then he'd have teleport she back down. But no, when he left heaven, and he had to travel fast as the speed of light, faster than 186,000 miles per second, and then come and talk to Mary. And yes, they like holy angels, Michael did that. Gabriel. When he talked to Mary, right or not? And when he went back up into heaven, right. So they like holy angels who didn't born on the earth. They live in heaven and come on the earth. Live in heaven and come and going back. But that teacher is teaching that all these people who they claim in heaven, they're born on earth, but now they die, they're gone in heaven, but they can't come back to earth. God prison them there. They have to stay there. That is not adding up at all. The same way how they like holy angels didn't born on the earth, but was created in heaven and they had the rights to leave heaven and go, then these people across there had the same rights. Inside that they was born here and they go to heaven, they had the same rights, not to confine themselves to heaven, but to leave there and come back the same way. So that teaching is teaching that what these people are telling all you, they are saying God is committing an injustice to them. That teaching is teaching you that. And I'm saying that teaching is not true, because God is the God of justice and God is committing no injustice. And I'm simply saying if what they are teaching is true, then it'll be happening how I describing it. The same way they like holy angels in born here, but they will live in heaven and come in here. Well, these people who born here and die, they go to heaven, then they'll be leaving heaven and coming back to the place where they're born, spending vacation and going back into heaven. Oh yes, oh yeah, that is the answer, that is the proof, that is the answer, and that is the legitimate proof, ladies and gentlemen, to prove to prove that teaching. But that teaching is not teaching that, so I mean that teaching is not true. What I telling all is the truth. It had to happen this way how I teaching you all. And since it is not happening that way how I'm teaching you all, it means all what these people are teaching about out of body experience, they're coming out of the body and they're going to heaven and seeing their loved ones is not true. What they're teaching all is not true. The deceased loved ones is not in heaven. They're in the grave waiting for a resurrection and not in heaven. That's why none of them are coming back for no vacation. And that's why yes, not you all are not seeing no elect holy angels coming back and appearing with them. I'm knocking at all the door. Knock, knock, knock. I bring back all your family. You come here for 2 weeks. All you witnessing that? All you seeing that? No. That means it is not true. And I end that video on that note.
One day.
End that video on that note. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Understand that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm finishing now, Sandra. Go and watch.
Okay, that's something back in
I end that video on that note, ladies and gentlemen. That is the way God will. That is the way God will have it to be. That is the way God will design it. That will be a heavenly policy for everybody to see that. If that was true, that if it really had dead people, deceased dead people living in heaven or alive, God has sent them back for vacation and holidays, and everybody that we seeing them, and we that welcoming them, and we that be seeing the like holy angels accompanying them. And when they spend the 2 weeks holidays, the like holy angels come and collect them and they vanish and go back to heaven. Are we seeing that? No, because what they're teaching you all in the first place is not true. It's not true. What Eric Braxton are telling you all is true. That is how God has designed it. That is the way how God has structured it. And that is the way it has to be happen for it to be legitimately. You see? That's the way it has to happen. That's the way it has to happen. Boys and girls, that is the way it has to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, all over the world, through the international community, through the international landscape, that is the way it has to happen, ladies and gentlemen. But are we witnessing that? No. Are we seeing dead people coming back and appearing to us? To the dead family and say, I've come back for 2 weeks holiday vacation, but this is it like holy angels accompanying. Are we seeing that? The answer is no. Why it is not happening? Because what they are teaching you all, that dead people is in heaven in spirit form as deceased loved ones, is not true. That's why we are not witnessing that. That's why we are not witnessing that, ladies and gentlemen. And before I end this video, T.D. Jakes didn't teach me this, huh? And Christian Bella didn't teach me that. But if I go to America, of course I will ask him for a ride in the jet and sit down and chat with him. Right? And what I'm teaching you all, I will teach you that and all too. And T.D. Jakes and all too. Right? In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, amen and amen. Shalom, peace. See you all in the next videos soon. Bye-bye, my friend.